Yes, you are welcome back to our online lectures. Today we shall be going through the blood group system, the ABO blood group system. Of course, genetics is the branch of biology that is concerned with the study of how characteristics are transferred from parents to offspring. So, and I'm quite aware that you must have wondered how individuals are able to transmit this heritable character from generations to generation. One of such characteristics that we will be looking at as far as our genetics is concerned is the blood group system. The blood group system was introduced by a scientist by name Carl Landsteiner. Carl Landsteiner in 1903. Of course, there are several other types of blood group system, but today I'm going to be discussing about two core types of blood group system. Shall be looking at number one, the ABO blood group system. The ABO blood group system. And we shall be looking at the rhesus blood group system. The ABO blood group system and of course the rhesus blood group system. Like I stated, the blood group system, the ABO blood group system was introduced by scientist Carl Landsteiner in 1903. And he was the first person to try and help us understand how blood groups exist. So the concept of blood group was further elaborated by using two core concepts. Number one, we have antigens. Two important concepts. Number one, we have the antigens, and number two, we have the antibodies. So, on the surface of blood, you can either find antigens, and you will find both antigens and antibodies. So, what is different between antigens and antibodies? Most candidates who write external exam tend to find it difficult to differentiate between antigens and antibodies. Now, your antigen, you can always see antigen as a friend. That means your antigen is a member of your family. And what do friends do to one another? When friends set their eyes on each other, they tend to do what? Once you see your friend, what do? You hug and you are happy to see your friend. So that is the way antigens are like. Antigens are a friend to your blood group system. While antibodies or antibodies, these are like enemies. So when you picture your antigen as a friend, while you picture your antibodies as enemy. For you to be able to understand the concept of the ABO blood group system, you must understand the difference between antigens and antibodies. Both antigens and antibodies are present on your red blood cell. So, but the antigens are like a friend. That means if a particular blood group has a specific antigen, then it will not clump another blood. However, if it has an antibody for another blood group, that blood group is going to get clumped. I repeat myself. When you have an antigen for a blood group, there is not going to be agglutination. That is the terminology. Agglutination. So let's consider this red blood cell. This is red blood cell A. Red blood cell A with antigen A, antibody B. So if this is antigen A, so let me say I have a blood group A. When this blood group A comes with this antigen A, there is not going to be no clumping. But when blood group A comes in contact with another blood that has antibody B, there is going to be clumping. So that means when the blood group has the same antigen, there is no clumping. I repeat, when they have the same antigen, there will be no clumping. However, when they have different antigens, there will be clumping. Or when they have antibodies, there will be. So antibodies are like things, they are like enemies to your blood group system. So if you have not understood that, so let's make it much more clearer. Let's make the illustration clearer. Antigens and antibodies. So I have blood group. This is blood group. These are the blood groups. And their antigens. Antigens and antibodies. According to the ABO blood group system, we have 4 main types of blood group. We have 4 main blood groups. The first blood group is the blood group A. The second blood group is blood group B. The next blood group is blood group AB. And the final one is blood group O. That means we have blood groups A, blood group B, blood groups AB, and blood group O. Each of these blood groups have their antigens and their antibody. So if I have blood group A, what is going to be the antigen that I'll have? Because I'm blood group A, I'm going to have antigen A. Because I'm blood group A, I'm going to have antigen A. Because I'm blood group B, I'm going to have antigen B. That means when I see B, I'm going to get attracted to B. When I see A, if I'm blood group A, I'm going to get attracted to A. If I'm blood group AB, what am I going to be having? I'm going to be having antigen A and antigen B. When I'm blood group O, I'm going to be having what? Or I'm going to be having antigen O. But now we need to understand this. If I'm blood group A, I have antigen A. What other blood groups are available? I have blood group B, I have blood group what? AB, and I have blood group O. So if I'm antigen A, if I'm blood group A, I'm going to be having antibody B and antibody O. So if I'm blood group B, I'm going to be having so if I'm blood group A, let's take it gradual. If I'm blood group B, I'm going to be having antibody A. If I'm blood group AB, now looking at AB, what can we see? AB has both the blood groups. And because it has both the blood group, it has no antigen and no antibody. That means there is nothing to reject AB. What I mean is that there is no blood group to reject AB. Why? Because it has no antibody. So anybody that has blood group AB can receive blood from anybody because they are not having any issue with any other type of blood group. However, okay, now blood group A, what are the antigens on blood group A? As you can see, we don't have any. What are the antibodies? We have antibodies A, and we have antibodies B. Now, this means that from what I can observe, O has no antigen and it has what? 2 antibodies. So these are 2 concepts. Number 1, the AB blood group is referred to as universal recipients, while the O blood group is referred to as universal donor. It is referred to as universal donor. Why? Because there is no antibody O. Why is O referred to as universal donor? Because there is what? There is no antibody O. So that means anybody can get blood from what? From O. Because there is no antibody O. Why AB is what? AB can receive from everybody. Why? That's why we say AB is universal. It's because there's no one that is producing something to resist your AB blood group. So having understood that, I'm going to go through it once again. Blood group A has antigen A and it has antibody B. Blood group B has antigen B plus antibody A. Blood group AB has antigen AB and O, no antigen, and of course it has antibody. If you have not understood that, we are going to do what we call the blood group pairing. So for people, when you get into the hospital and you want to know who are those persons that can donate blood to you, these are important things you need to be able to analyze. These are questions you need to ask yourself to know people who are capable of donating blood to you, and for you to know people who are incapable of donating blood to you. Who are the types of people that are capable of donating blood to you? The people who are capable of donating blood to you are the people whom you share the same antigen. So if you share the same antigen, you'll be able to donate blood to each other. But if you share the same antibody, then you will not be able to donate blood to yourself. So let's look at this. So we are going to be doing blood group pairing. Blood group pairing. Please take notes. A mark, a tick, represents no agglutination, while a cross represents agglutination. What is agglutination? Agglutination means that the blood is going to clump together. What is no agglutination? No agglutination means that the blood is not going to clump together. So when I say agglutination, you think the blood will clump together, and when the blood clumps together, it will destroy the blood. However, if the bloods do not clump together, then of course it shows that the individual can perfectly donate to you. So we have these are the blood groups. We have blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB, and we have blood group O. And of course, on this side, we are going to be having blood group A, blood group B, blood group O, and of course, blood group AB. Now, the criteria for matching is this. I've showed you the antigens on this table. Whenever they have the same antigen, then there will be no agglutination. I repeat myself. Whenever they have the same antigen, there will be no agglutination. However, when they have the same antigen, when they have the same antibody, there will be agglutination. What do I mean? Blood group A. I'm going to be using the antibodies. Blood group A. Let's look at blood group A here. Blood group A is having antigen A. So when the antigen is there, when they have the same antigen, there will be no agglutination. So since A is having antigen A, no agglutination. Now, what about B? B is producing antibody A. So, and when you produce antibody against something, it means you want to destroy that thing. So because B is producing antibody against A, what are we going to have? There will be what? There will be agglutination. What about A and AB? What are the antibodies of AB? Is AB producing antibody? AB does not produce any antibody. And when sometimes there is no antibody against you, it means that you don't have any problem and there will be no agglutination. So AB is not producing any antibody, so there will be no agglutination. That means A can donate to AB. What about O? O is producing antibody A. That means whenever it sees A, is going to quarrel with A. So because this is producing an antibody against A, so there will be what? Agglutination. Coming back here, let's take it gradually again. B to A. A, whenever you see blood group A will produce antibody B. So what do you think will happen? There will be what? There will be agglutination. Good. Because A is already producing antibody against B. What about B? will B produce antibody against B? No. B will not produce antibody against itself. So B can donate to B. So there will be what? There will be no agglutination. What about B versus AB? Of course, looking at blood group AB from that table, you see that AB has no antibody. And anywhere, so you consider an antibody as a security guard. So when there's no security guard, you can what? Enter. So because AB is not producing any, so there will be what? It can go. B versus O. O produces two antibodies. That is antibodies A and antibodies B. So if O is producing an antibody against B, will B be able to donate blood to O? No. So there will be. So coming O. O now is, okay, this is the donor. Let's use this as the donor. Let's use this as the recipient. So on the left side, we have the donor. Can O donate to A? Is there any antibody O? From what I've shown here, is there any antibody O? No. So because there's no antibody O can donate to A. Is there any, can B produce, is there any antibody O? Does B produce antibody O? No. So O can donate. AB, does AB produce antibody O? There's no antibody O, so it can donate. Does O produce antibody O? There's no antibody O, so it can donate. So from what you can see here, what can you observe? O is what? Universal donor. It is called a universal donor because it can donate to all the blood groups present. So let's come to AB. Now, AB is the one that is donating. Can AB donate to A? Oh yeah, let's take. Can AB donate to A? Remember, you cannot donate to a blood group that has your antibody. A has antibody B, which is also a part of AB. So therefore, AB cannot donate to A. What about AB to B? B has antibody A. And that means this antibody A will fight the A. So that means AB cannot donate to B. Then AB versus AB. AB does not have any antibody against this. Because AB is AB. Abi? And I say both of them have the same antigen. And when they have the same antigen, they are going to be able to what? They are going to be able to donate. AB will have antigen AB. So therefore, it can donate. Then AB to O. O produces antibody what? A and B. And because it's producing antibody against A and B, it cannot donate. So looking at this, AB, you can see, in terms of receiving, AB can receive from everyone. So AB is referred to as universal recipient. So from our lecture today, we have been able to understand the four main different blood groups. We have the A blood group, B blood group, the AB blood group, as well as the what? O blood group. The A blood group has antigen A. The B blood group has antigen B. The O blood group has no specific antigen. The AB blood group has antigen A and B. Then, like I told you, antibodies are responsible for fighting other blood groups. Blood group A has antibody B. Beautiful. Blood group B has antibody A. Excellent. Blood group AB has what? Blood group AB has no antibody. And because it has no antibody, it can receive from every blood group. Then we have blood group O. Blood group O has the two antibodies. So you look at O as a blood group that is quite what? That is quite unfortunate. Why do we say O is a quite unfortunate blood group? It is referred to as a quite unfortunate blood group because while it can donate to all the blood group, it can only receive from itself. So the O blood group can donate to every other blood group, while it can only receive from itself. Then the AB blood group is referred to as a very selfish blood group. Why do I call it a selfish blood group? Let's look at it. In terms of donating, let's see. AB cannot donate to A. AB cannot donate to B. AB cannot donate to O. But it can only donate to what? Itself. So while AB can receive from every other blood group, AB can only donate for itself. I believe you enjoyed the lecture. You have understood that AB is universal recipient, O is universal donor. In the course of our subsequent lecture, we shall be looking at the rhesus blood group and we shall be further elucidating on that. Please ensure to like, subscribe, and share to your colleagues. Do have an amazing week. Cheers.